Good afternoon and welcome everyone to another edition of Street Cred with one of your peers, Mr. Mike Hepner, who's been successful in creating an effective self-gen program. Mike, welcome to this podcast format for tips and tricks and practices on how we can help our sales reps do better in the field.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm very humbled to be here.
So Mike, you've been in the field as a successful houseful rep now for a handful of years. About 8 or so. And you've mentioned in the past to me how important having referrals and gaining, a committed self-gen program is. You do goal setting every year, correct?
Yep.
With that being said, what's the approach that you've taken here in the Nokomis area to continue your success with referrals?
Well, I think the first thing is a lot of people don't really understand, and they take kind of a sales approach to it, and they try to sell getting referrals, or hey, is there anybody and it just sounds goofy and not real and not sincere. So for me, I like to start by making sure people, and I know for myself, have the right mindset. You've got to realize and always remember that your customer just said yes. Literally, you took them from zero, not knowing you, to $5,000 or $9,000, and they want to buy from you. And so the thing is you want to make sure that you take advantage of that excitement and understand that they trust you more now than they ever have. And I think if you just keep that in your mind, you will approach this differently, and you will find that they will be more excited to follow along with your suggestions. So basically for me, Kyle, it's really about the mindset. I got to remember in my head, they love me.
Right.
This was not, you don't make those kind of decisions without trusting somebody. And so I think when I know that, I talk to them differently when it's time for referrals.
And when do you think the best time is to discuss it during the call? I'm assuming you're doing this on the sales call, right?
To make it simple, I'm actually doing it throughout the call. And, we discussed this a little bit, and I almost wasn't realize I was doing it, but every single time, everybody calls me the preemptive, king. I laugh at that, but it's true. I don't like handling excuses any more than you guys do, so I get rid of them before they come up. What's the excuse or the referrals? Oh, yeah, I haven't thought of anybody yet. No, I don't, not really, but I'll let you know. And you're dead in the water and you don't know what to do. So one of the things that gives me credibility while I'm talking with somebody is throughout the presentation, when it's natural to say so, I'll go, here's a great example. I literally, today, was on a street where I have 5 different systems out of 12 homes. Literally, one was just sold yesterday. And so I'm talking to the guy, and I said to him, look, I know your neighbors love me. The problem is I've got to live up to that. And sometimes I screw up, so I hope you'll be patient with me. But apparently people love me out here. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you know this, but Zeno Court just down the street? Yeah, I have put the first system in the first home here. Now, I had no idea there were going to be 3,000 homes in this area in the next 3 years, but apparently I'm the golden boy, right? So hopefully I can live up to that with you, John. So it's comments like that, and then I'll get off of it and go, but tell me a little bit more about what your water concerns are. Because otherwise, so that's how I don't sell them, by still selling them, because I'm giving myself credibility. And I'm setting up, even though they're not thinking about it, a referral system to happen.
So you're subliminally planting the seed for that final at the end when you're going to talk about.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So what else what other things do you do? What other tricks of the trade do you use when you're in the home?
Well, one of the things, because I know that referrals are important, it depends on the person I'm speaking to. If that person is more money-oriented or conscious or whatever, one of the advantages when I'm going over the why Culligan part is I talk about, how excited I am to work for a company that knows they do such a good job but rewards the customer for it. Because, do you agree, John, that if you find somebody that you like that you worked with, you would tell people about it. And they always say yes to that. And I said, as a matter of fact, how did you find me? Oh, I got you off the Facebook site, or I saw you on Nextdoor, or John Nextdoor mentioned. Now, if I know they went online, I won't ask that question. You've got to be strategic. And I think what people do is they kind of fly more by the seat of their pants and just show up to a meeting. So I don't know if you guys are doing this, but I always encourage people, go online and look the person up. See if you can find them on Facebook or on LinkedIn to see what they do. If I know I have an engineer, I'm going to joke somewhere at the beginning, because every engineer and accountant are detailed. And I'm going to joke at the beginning and stuff. John, engineer or accountant, which one? Oh, engineer, And I said, it's okay, I'm detailed too. Now, I won't say that if it's, somebody who's not a detailed type background. But the thing is that I have fun with people. And it kind of loosens them up, even the ones that, and you all know who they are, the ones you just can't get to talk much, or you get, anyways. So that's my goal, is just to get them to like me. People always buy from people they like. They always have. They always will.
And the primary program that you do is the Referral Rock program?
Yeah, almost literally 100%. I'm not saying I won't talk to a neighbor if we're outside looking at a system, but no, I've pretty much decided this is 100% what I'm good at, and it's fun. I mean, I get calls. I know some people find this hard to believe, but literally there isn't a week that doesn't go by that I don't get 4 or 5, sometimes 10, but at least probably 4 or 5 calls or texts from somebody. I had 2 of them today alone, and that say, hey, so-and-so told me, or I found you on Facebook, that kind of thing.
So what is the actual process that you do when we speak to Referral Rock? We know it's there, but what do you do? How do you talk to it? How do you get them going on it, excited? How does that all come to fruition at the end, other than just saying we have this program?
Right. So you got the mindset. You preemptively struck the fact that you've got referrals happening all the time. If you can get some on that street, you can do that. And do remember too, everybody, if you don't have anybody on that street, somebody does. Are you leaving yourself enough time before you get to a guy's house? Are you looking down the street and looking for our units to see if somebody's there and grabbing the address? John, I forget who's at 4920, but there's a lot of people in here that love us. And I say that so we don't have to prove it at the end. I get it out of the way now. So anyways, but getting to the point at when we're actually done. And now I've got it all set up in their mind. It's all that preemptive stuff going on and the mindset combined. Now we're at the end. We're sold. We've got everything all written up. And what ends up happening at the end, I say, now, John, there's 2 last things I want to mention to you. To me, this is not the end of our relationship. To me, a relationship, it's the beginning. Now, I know you got a lot of stuff on your mind. You're putting the house together, or you're moving stuff in. But we found that people love the system so much that they can't wait to tell people. In fact, a lot of people have actually already talked with some other people, because everybody talks about how bad the water is, like we discussed earlier. It's the second worst water in the country. So with that said, I do want to let you know a couple things. Number one, I want to come back and retest your water. I know it sounds crazy. I'd take special time out for you, but to me it's not crazy, because you might have some extra questions then about the system. And I'd like you to make sure you know that you got everything I promised you. 1 drop, it's going to turn blue. The chlorine is going to be not dark yellow. It's going to be totally clear. And that TDS I promised you was going to be under 50 parts per million. It's going to be. And so the thing is that, I want to make sure you're happy with that. In fact, we could even set that time up now before I leave. The other thing is, we have the most phenomenal referral program I've ever seen a company do. I mean, to the point that I actually had a couple people that had paid for their system entirely. Now, it is an outlier, to be honest with you. Some people just are that kind of person. Mm-hmm. They're like, I'm going to pay for it all with the referral. But for the most people, this is what has happened. For anybody that you refer, and they don't have to buy the whole system. Maybe they only want a reverse osmosis or a softener, or it's still going to count. You're going to get a $100 gift card for referring them. And it's got some cool places. I'm talking Amazon and Apple and Best Buy and your favorite restaurants. Pick whatever $100 gift card you want, right? So that's cool. But get this, the person you refer gets $100 off their system. And by the way, at this point, I've never not had a customer go, oh, wow. You know, in some sort of reaction to that second 100, they're like, well, that's cool. You know, they won't feel bad about me giving out their name, maybe, you know. So that takes another excuse away you don't realize is happening. But do you hear the excitement in my voice?
Yeah, the natural inflection is probably what gets that going, right? That's the showman and the excitement that it's a good deal for both parties.
It is, and if you sincerely get that and believe it, and why would you not? Guys, look, here's the thing. What are you going to lose by them giving you a referral? Well, what's your average? Is your average sale $5,000? Are you making 20%? You really don't want to go through this for $1,000? Are you crazy? And I looked at this as, wow, I wonder how many I need to do. If I only got one a week, I just made an extra $50,000. And I don't remember, but I think last year it was like $75,000 of my income.
100%. So you really feel like, to recap this, setting the stage during the call, having a mindset that that's where you're going, and then following through with the excitement of the program at the end once everything is sold.
Correct. And then when I do that, what's happening is sometimes they might even already have a name, so don't assume that you got to wait till you come back on the retest. So this is the way I handle that. So listen, here's my card. This is how easy it is to do. Have you ever used a QR code? And I flip it over on the back, right? And then most people will say yes. And if they're older, maybe they've never done it, I said, let me show you how easy this is. I'm going to do it on my phone first. And I flip it over and I show them how you just touch the yellow and it goes to a website. And I said, you just sign up in here. A couple basic things like email, phone number, your name. Now you can add people from that. And, it's easy to do. Would you like me to help you set it up on your phone?
That's great. That's good. Well, I appreciate your time today, Mike. Hopefully you guys got some good nuggets from this edition of Street Cred. It's Kyle and Mike signing off. Have a great day and happy selling.